What would you do if a blinding flash suddenly erased the world behind you? No sound, no warning, just instant silence and a rising mushroom cloud. You're in your car, and you have less than 10 minutes to make decisions that will decide if you live or die. This is not a movie, this is exactly how a nuclear detonation unfolds in real life. From the moment your electronics fail due to an EMP, to the deadly shockwave racing toward you, to the invisible radioactive fallout that turns the outside world into a death zone, every second matters. Most people will panic. Some will freeze. Only a few will survive. In this video, you'll learn the exact step-by-step survival strategy: when to stay in your car, when to run, where to hide, and how to outsmart the most dangerous threat you can't even see. Because in a nuclear event, the first 10 minutes aren't just important, they are everything. Your rearview mirror suddenly turns blindingly white, and for a brief, impossible instant, the world seems to vanish. That flash, brighter than the sun, isn't lightning. It isn't a reflection. It's the unmistakable, terrifying signature of a nuclear detonation, and you are in your car, alone, with only minutes to make choices that will decide if you live or die. The sound hasn't reached you yet, the light arrives first, but the reality hits immediately: everything outside your metal box, your vehicle, is in danger. You have exactly 10 minutes, maybe less, to act before the environment you once trusted becomes a lethal trap. Right now, your car is your first and only tool. It's a temporary shelter, a fragile fortress made of steel and glass, but that steel is only as good as the decisions you make. The choices in the next few moments aren't complicated, but they are brutally time-sensitive, and hesitation could be fatal. A clear head is your weapon. Panic will kill faster than any radiation or blast wave. Around you, the October 10th 80 rule is silently playing out. 10% of people will react immediately and correctly, 10% will panic destructively, and 80% will freeze, unable to process the sight of a mushroom cloud rising on the horizon. Which group will you belong to? Every second matters. The sky flashes a violent light, searing into your eyes, and your instinct is to look, to understand what's happening. Don't. Even from miles away, staring at that flash can blind you instantly, a phenomenon called flash blindness. On a clear day, it can happen up to 13 miles away. At night, the effect stretches over 50. If you're moving at 60 miles per hour and suddenly lose vision, your car becomes a missile with no guidance. Keep your eyes fixed on what you can control: the steering wheel, the road beneath you, and the car itself. The first order of survival is to stop safely. Do not slam the brakes, but ease off the accelerator, signal, and move to the shoulder. If there's an overpass, pull behind it. If there's a concrete wall nearby, use it. Mass between you and the outside world could save your life. But location matters. Bridges offer zero protection and might collapse under the shockwave. Tunnels could shield you briefly but can turn into death traps if exits are blocked. Can you escape in under 30 seconds? If not, your car may need to be abandoned. Your dashboard flickers. Lights die. The engine cuts out. The electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, has hit. Cars with electronic ignitions, made after 1980, are now dead. Not all vehicles fail at once. Distance from ground zero determines whether your car still runs. If it stalls instantly, you are dangerously close. If it continues moving, you are far enough that radiation, not the blast, becomes your primary threat. Once stopped, put the car in park, set the emergency brake, and turn off the ignition. You've survived the first 20 seconds. The shockwave is coming, traveling at the speed of sound. Heat and light reach you instantly, but the pressure wave gives you seconds to prepare. At 10 miles from a megaton blast, you might have only 47 seconds. At 20 miles, 94. Count them. Brace yourself. Your car is a temporary shield, but it will not withstand the full force if you are exposed. Crouch low, preferably in the footwell beneath the windows. If children are present, pull them down with you. If you cannot, tuck your head between your knees, hands over neck and head. Your body position can make the difference between life and severe injury. Safety glass will shatter, turning into deadly shards traveling at hundreds of miles per hour. Keep your mouth slightly open. Pressure from the blast can rupture eardrums and lungs. The sound hits, a roar unlike anything you've heard, and then the crushing pressure. Metal groans. Windows implode inward. Air itself feels solid, pushing against you. Stay down. Count to 30 after the violent shaking stops. Check yourself for injuries. Wetness could be blood from glass cuts unnoticed due to adrenaline. Minor wounds aren't your immediate concern, but serious bleeding needs pressure. The first shock wave passes. Then comes the negative phase, the reverse wind, sucking debris back into the environment you just survived. Do not lift your head until both phases have passed. The outside world is now a battlefield of destruction, chaos, and invisible killers. Your first window of survival, the first 10 minutes, is closing rapidly. Fallout, invisible and lethal, will arrive soon. 1 megaton ground burst lifts tens of thousands of tons of earth into the atmosphere, now raining down as radioactive dust. Just one particle in your lungs can begin a slow, painful death. On your skin, it burns. In the first 10 to 15 minutes, fallout begins its silent descent. Roads are blocked. Cars are stalled. Panic spreads like wildfire. Everyone is making the same calculations you are: where to find shelter, how to survive. The clock is ticking. You must leave your car, your temporary sanctuary, and reach a building that can provide real protection. Dense materials, distance from windows, central interior rooms, these factors now govern your survival. Basements, subways, and thick-walled structures become your lifeline. A brick building's core offers better protection than the outer floor of a modern glass office. Every wall, every floor, every inch of mass between you and the radioactive particles multiplies your odds of survival. You have mere minutes to decide, move, and act decisively. Grab only essentials. Move with purpose. Watch for hazards, fallen power lines, debris, unstable structures. Others may follow, let them. The key is speed, precision, and calm under terror. You are now racing not against the clock, but against the invisible threat of radiation. Every choice, every second, multiplies your chances of survival or seals your fate. This is the reality of a nuclear detonation. 10 minutes that determine everything, where hesitation is fatal, and knowledge is your most powerful weapon. Your 10 minutes are over, but survival isn't finished, it's only entering its next phase. The first radioactive particles are beginning their silent fall outside, invisible, deadly, and relentless. You made it. You saw the flash, kept your eyes on the road, braced for the shockwave in your car's footwell, and abandoned your vehicle at the right moment to reach a building capable of shielding you. Every calm, precise decision you made in those terrifying 600 seconds has bought you life, but the next 48 hours will test you like nothing else. Radiation levels outside are at their peak. In the first hour, exposure can reach over 1,000 rads per hour. By 48 hours, it drops to 10. Time is now your ally, but only if you respect it. You need to stay put in your shelter, ideally underground or in the dense core of a solid structure, and avoid any openings where fallout can enter. Water becomes critical. At least 1 gallon per person per day, because survival without water is measured in days, not weeks. Food is secondary, but sanitation cannot be ignored. 20 people in a sealed room create hazards that escalate fear, panic, and disease. Every hour spent outside is a gamble, every minute inside, a small victory. Your phone is dead, your connection to the outside world severed, but somewhere in your shelter, there may be a battery-powered or hand-crank radio. Find it. Tune to AM frequencies to receive emergency updates, which areas are most contaminated, which zones are survivable, and when it might be safe to leave. Knowledge is your final tool now. The world has changed in an instant, but the choices you made during those first 10 minutes will ripple through the hours to come. You acted with clarity when others panicked, sought shelter when chaos reigned, and understood that survival is never about courage alone, it is about precision, timing, and preparation. Tonight, tomorrow, and the day after, your safety depends on patience, vigilance, and the discipline to stay hidden until authorities announce it is safe. The invisible enemy will pass eventually, but only those who respect the rules of survival, who understand how to move from reaction to strategy, will live to see the new world that emerges from the fire. You are one of them. You survived the flash. You survived the shockwave. And now, because of the choices you made in the deadliest 10 minutes of your life, you have a chance to survive the invisible storm that follows.